What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium where I react to video game music. As a musician myself, today is the return of Splatoon. This is a 2-for-1 video from Splatoon 1 and 3, I think. I can find out in a second. Yeah. This is requested by DJSingleTone and T-Man. This is the song I Am Octavio. And then the other video is I Am Octavio Fear Me remix. Apparently the final boss. So it's been a while since I've done Splatoon. Splatoon fans come in really heavy when I upload one. There's a big community out there, so that's always really fun. And the music's all over the place. Really fun, charismatic, fun-natured, and hyper stuff, but also a bit dynamic. And it's been a while, so Splatoon. I Am Octavio, final boss. Very, very curious on this one. Let's go. Don't know the composers. We got bells as percussion. Maybe someone's dying. It's actually kind of symbolic. Bells tolling on the final boss. It's pretty cool. This is unlike any Splatoon I've heard so far, so. Ooh, percussion opened up a little bit. I don't know if the song has like exploded yet, or if it's still like gonna stay in this. Feels very constricted right now. Ooh. That's cool. Feels like a siren. I'm not sure this character's supposed to be like an actual DJ, because it's doing a lot of DJ techniques right now. The only thing it's missing is like scratching. Which is kind of that right there. The song is very satisfying. It's like ASMR in a way. That's sick. And the drop. I love the... Yeah, this is good. Oh, man. Okay. Da-da-da. Oh, I just noticed that. That's 2 choir steps. We got like a male one and a female one. Okay. Splatoon 3, this one just says, I Am Octavio, Fear Me remix. All right, let's go. Don't know if it's Splatoon 2, but I've only the reason I'm doing these is because these are the ones that were requested. So if it hasn't been requested, then I wouldn't do it. So if it's in Splatoon 2 or not, then I wouldn't know. Anyways, 3. I don't know if he's also the final boss here. Okay. Ooh. A little faster. That's new. Sounds kind of out of place. Just that little like bubbly synth sound. It's like crawling up and down my spine. Does it have a composer on here? Pretty faithful. Sounds almost identical. A little more reserved. It's not as in your face. Just that constant kick the whole time. I think it looped. Yeah. Damn. So many things to say here. So, I've only heard a handful of Splatoon songs, maybe around 5 or so. And for the most part, I've always had this sort of notion with it that, and don't take this offensively, but I originally thought the game was like more geared towards kids. It just seems that way. Like, you know, the packaging and everything, it looks very kid, like party game. Apparently that's not the case. There's a heavy lore and whatever. And I've heard the songs, and there's like, it's like a culture behind it, right? The characters, they perform live shows. It's a big deal. And I think even in Japan, it's like, or I think it's a bigger deal in Japan. If I could be wrong about that. But either way, it's, you know, there's a Western audience, and it's a big deal, right? There's at least 3 games, and there's people who are playing them. But the music that I heard from the beginning was more like punk rock and very band with wacky vocals. Reminded me of like Fall Guys type of stuff. And that was like my first impression of it. And since then, it's been mostly along the lines of energetic, crazy vocal, punk rock-ish music, give or take. This was not that. And I saw a lot of comments in all those videos, and they're like, oh man, you know, you need to start listening to other stuff. Well, I don't get to choose, right? So I just happened to hear those first. But people were saying that not all the soundtrack sounds like that. And one thing, before I even get to these songs, and maybe I'm starting to realize this kind of late, because to me, which is very little knowledge, I was under the assumption that this game is like, again, like I thought it was like a party game. Like you just, it's with the whole color, the emphasis on the paint and the color, and I don't know. That's just what I thought. Like very multiplayer heavy, at least it seems to me. But it seems like there's a theme that it might be heavy music influenced, right? We have bands, and over here I'm seeing DJ Octavio. So I'm seeing a pattern pretty late. So I'm guessing it's kind of both, where it's like music themed and the paint and the characters. Like it's the whole thing, right? So I'm guessing, right? So since this was DJ Octavio, or Octavio, however you say it, you know, when I think DJ, obviously disc jockey, their turntables and all that. I don't know what they look like, but if it's what I'm assuming is a DJ, then the song really is really in line with that, because there's a lot of electronic elements. The first time I ever heard anything like that in Splatoon, and it had a lot of DJ-like techniques, like stopping the record, putting something else on, or switching to the next turntable, and then the little like somewhat scratches, da 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 da, you know. So I'm assuming that's what they were going for, because those dynamics are very much a thing with DJs. So sorry if I sound so confused, but I guess I'm like late to the party on this one, even though I've been hearing Splatoon for a while. So yeah, very electronic, no band in this one, no guitars, no electric thing. And now the vocals are more in specific areas. And I still don't know what they're saying, and it still sounds like gibberish to me. But it sounds more not the focus here. Now it's all about the energy of the song, the pulsating boom, boom, boom. It does remind me a little bit of two games I've played. Just this particular song. It reminds me of stuff from Earthworm Jim. And it also reminds me of, specifically in Crash, in the Crash games, the futuristic levels. It has that sort of technological sound to it. There were bells, too. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or if it's just strictly a percussion choice. But when I think bells, I always think of, like, Doom. Someone's passed or is passing, or is kind of intimidating. You know, it is the final boss. It did feel like that. I will say that. In this case, I knew that it was the final boss before I played it because of the notes they left, the requester. But it did feel like that. It definitely had that sort of, end game type of feel. But yeah, very unlike anything I've heard from Splatoon. That it stood out so hard. And then this one, it's Fear Me, spelled F34RME remix. So I'm assuming that is a character or another DJ. So that kind of confirms the whole like musical theme of the game. I need to look at Splatoon has way more depth than I thought it had. And I don't know if it's still going. I'm not sure how recent these games are. If you haven't noticed, I don't know anything. But this one was pretty good, although it felt nearly the same. It sounded a little newer. That was all. Like it just got re-recorded. There were little differences. I had that like kind of ambient key thing that was just floating around. But I didn't really notice any like major differences between them both. In this one, it felt to me like Octavio was like less important. So if they're in this game, I'm assuming it's a character. If they're in this game, I feel like in this game they're not like maybe the final boss. They're maybe just below sub boss, something like that. It didn't like have the same impact as the first one. So, man, yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. With Splatoon, I kind of, like I said, I had this like, oh, okay, I'm expecting some da 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 da, and then that type of thing. But the more that I listen to Splatoon, the more I just really don't understand what's going on with this game. And that's normal because I don't play it and I don't have any Nintendo console. And yeah, this is a outsider speaking from just that perspective. But the music, though, I'm starting to really get together that it's music based and a lot of attention to the art or the artistic. How do I say this? There's a lot of love when it comes to art in general, not just music. So visual, you know, what you hear, what you see, etc. So maybe I think Splatoon was like underrated or something. Either way, very curious game with a very passionate audience. And now I continue the journey of more Splatoon. I don't know how many more requests I have for it, but yeah, sorry, it caught me off guard. That was sick though. That was super, super good. And I love stuff like that. Like I said, it sounded like ASMR, just all the little cool little sounds that just sound really warm, and I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. But anyways, if you guys know the composer for this, please let me know. I am now going to assume that there's multiple composers in this game. So, yeah. I don't know what to say anymore. Thank you to DJSingleTone and T-Man for that. That was dope. Thanks to everyone that you see here. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. Long live Splatoon and video game music. Peace.